Okay. I shouldn't have enabled you. You know what that word means, enabled?
Approved.
By right, schedule-wise, we should have had the test today, but in advance, when I say I enabled you to be slothful and oh, I just feel bad because you got games on the weekends and you have all these activities you gotta do. So I tried my best, like my teachers, not to have tests on Mondays. So we've already finished the chapter. We did our review on Friday. Unfortunately, it should benefit you if I just go through like test. What are the four main causes of World War I, right? And you remember what MAIN stand for. And Verity knows that it's not just knowing what they stand for, it's knowing what they are, right? So knowing that militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism are what historians look back and they say, that's what led to this war. What do they all mean? Fortunately for you, since this is high school, you don't have to write like a big dissertation on comparing and contrasting them and how are they interwoven. So like if this was a college course when I was in college, they would give you this like 12-page little pamphlet type book, a little smaller than a notebook, and it was blue cover, so they were called blue books, and you would have to just write and compare, and talk about the four causes and not just define them, but like what did they do to effectively cause World War I? So hopefully you don't think things are too rigorous here, that things are actually made as comfortable as they can be for you to also hold you accountable to learn. I think some of you get that figured out. What's the one country in the middle of the screen there that switched sides? Italy. So Italy starts off with the Triple Alliance. By the way, the Triple Alliance becomes later known as the, nice job, Central Powers, and the Triple Entente becomes known as Allies. Very good. And if you're a further student of history, you will learn that as we progress through this, we get to World War II, it's going to be the Allies against, who said that? Axis powers. Very good. So for now, it's Triple Alliance, Central Powers. Know who those countries are. Know that Italy started off with the Triple Alliance, and then because of promises made to them by the members of the Triple Entente, the Allies, Italy, when it came time to actually fight, engaged on our side, the Allies' side. Didn't have a whole lot of impact on the outcome of the war, but that is true about Italy. Italy will once again re-engage with the quote-unquote Central Powers, Axis powers when we get to World War II. So the politics of Europe constantly changing right now. By the way, speaking of the politics of Europe changing, in Southeast Europe, I'm just throwing questions at you now, because I know we're going to be on the test. It's not on the screen right now, but the war, the spark of the war happened in a region of the world where Serbia is located, known as the Balkans. Very good. Some of you are like, wait, that's going to be on the test? I never even heard of it. We did highlight it a couple times. I tried to go to the map and show you that this area of Southeastern Europe is there. This is a country that used to be they tried to like make one nation out of all of these different groups, and they called it Yugoslavia. How many have ever heard that? Now you've got like Bosnia's got their own. Bosnia, there's a really strange sounding country, Bosnia-Herzegovina. Serbia's got its own place there. Slovenia. All of these different groups were at one time tried to make them one country. Like, that's not going to work. The reason for the war was because what kind of nationalist was it? This Gavrilo Princip, what was his nationality? Serbian. Serbia had their own country, but they weren't satisfied with the territory they had, and they weren't satisfied with Austria-Hungary being big brother, acting like they were controlling them. Yeah. Yeah, but you're missing all this review.
I know.
Okay, hopefully it's quick. What country, this is on the screen, of all these countries, of the 4 causes of World War I, which country was least imperialistic? Yeah, Germany. Germany was very militaristic. Germany was very nationalistic, but they were probably least imperialistic. Remember what imperialism is. It's seeking expansion of your power and control worldwide. Like, you're not just governing your own country, you're looking to have control of other places in the world to expand your country's influence and power in the world. Let's see, what else can we move to? What would be on the test on this screen? What do you think? What do you think? You're like, Mr. Franklin's definitely going to have that on the test. Yeah.
The Schlieffen plan.
The Schlieffen plan. What was the Schlieffen plan? We're not looking at the screen. Yeah.
Going to be done before fall.
Yeah. What country was he from? Germany, right? It was a general in the German army that was in charge of laying out this plan. By the way, get it? Plan. Germany already had a plan. Hello? Like, all these other countries were also building their militaries. All these other countries were also nationalistic. All these other countries, except Germany, were also very imperialistic. They had alliances. But who had, like, who was the standout country that seemed to be engaged in these things to a degree? And again, highlighting this Schlieffen plan, most ready for war, which explains why they got the blame at the end. What else would be on there? Emily?
Trench warfare.
Well, definitely, right? I mean, if you had a test on World War I, the only reason trench warfare wouldn't be on a test is because it'd be like having a test in Algebra 2, and one of the questions was 2 + 2 is 4. See what I'm saying? Like, the only reason that trench warfare wouldn't be on the test of World War I, the teacher thought that was like too elementary. Yeah. Okay, that might be definitely what's going to be on the test was how this whole war started. Who was the first country to declare war? Like, but that didn't necessarily mean there had to be war, right? Right? Are people killed every day?
Yeah.
Important people are killed every day. No, not a really important one, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? In the world's idea of important people, we as Christians don't have that idea that this person's more important because they have a title like Archduke. But you know what I'm saying? That not every day someone like that, Archduke, gets killed. But does that when something like that happens, does it necessarily mean there has to be war? No, that doesn't happen. So what was my question? Oh, who was the first to declare war? No. Austria-Hungary was the first to declare war. Now, Germany was being their closest ally. Germany's influence, Kaiser, what was his last name? Wilhelm. Actually, he's Wilhelm II, but we didn't think because we're not doing German history. But Kaiser Wilhelm, he was and getting Austria-Hungary to declare war on Serbia at that point, and then the dominoes start falling because what large country had a pact with the Serbians and said, hey, if anybody messes with you, then we'll be there to help. What country had that pact or alliance with Serbia? Anybody? No. Russia. So then when Russia started to mobilize their military, Germany's like, oh, wait a second. Russia's mobilized to go against our best friend Austria-Hungary because they declared war on Serbia. So Germany, again, listen, doesn't it seem like Germany can't wait? Russia didn't declare war on Austria-Hungary. Germany saw Russia mobilizing, going to help. And they're, oh, that's it. Boom. They declare war on Russia and think they're going to institute their Schlieffen plan. What else could be on there? Again, I don't make dates a big thing, but shouldn't it be on? Again, only reason it wouldn't be on there is because the teacher might. When was World War I fought? Don't you like those questions? Don't you like the light questions? Huh, Riley? You do know World War I was fought, right? Can you give me anybody, what are the time frames? What year? Just the years. You don't have to give me the exact dates. Hello? World War I, from what year to what year? Thanks, Sid. 1914 to 1918. Almost exactly 4 years. 4 years and 2 months. 4 years and 3 months. 4.25 years. What year did we not? Okay, we'll continue on this train. What year did the United States enter the war?
1918.
Okay, let me check that. What year did the United States declare war on Germany? 1917. 1917. And then, so I understand when you said 1918 because that's not necessarily true, but that's when most of our troops showed up. That's when America really went to the battlefield, 1918. So we entered the war in 1917, not fully engaged in battle yet because we just decided, right? You don't just, hey, we're going to go to war against this country, and then 3 weeks later, the military's all ready to go. So by 1918, we were fully engaged. Okay, continued on that path. The name of the first battle where it was actually the American troops in a victory over the Germans. Yeah? Yeah, Derek.
Battle of Armistice? No, that was the
No,
last
no.
battle. Okay.
Well, let's go with
Wait,
that.
No.
What is,
The battle of.
I know, you were thinking of Argonne probably, but that's not it.
Oh, wait.
But, because that starts with A also. But armistice, hold that thought for a second. What's a synonym for armistice? Surrender, right? You said yes, I was checking. That was a trick question just to see, because I said right, who would shake their head yes. What is armistice a synonym for? Truce, not surrender, truce. Go ahead.
Psalm, right?
No. Again, like it starts with the same letter as Psalm. Psalm was a very major battle. So, hold on, Derek, let's go with that. We'll get to the answer to my original question after we finish this line of questioning. What is the Battle of Psalm infamous for? Notice I didn't say famous, because when you're famous for like a negative thing, would you agree that a bunch of dead people is negative? Okay, so what is the Battle of Psalm infamous for? Okay.
The bloodiest battle.
Yeah, it was like the bloodiest battle in modern history. It was, by the time that battle was over 1 million casualties. Okay, now back to what was the first U.S.-led battle, which of course ended in victory for the Allies? Emily. St. Mihiel, which was not that long before the major decisive battle. What was the decisive battle? What's the name of the forest in France that was the site of the decisive battle of World War I? Say it. Argonne. True or false? America lost about 1 million men during World War I. What's that? False, right? It was actually the numbers of 26,000. I say only. Those are 26,000 fathers, sons, and our only 26,000. So not close to a million. True or false? Most of the people killed during World War I were killed in combat as soldiers. False. Yeah. Sadly, about half the people killed were civilians. All right, what else? The notes. Anybody writing their margin, Lord Gray?
Yeah.
The lights are going out all over Europe. Leaves are falling from the trees. Germany thought this was going to be a quote-unquote walk in the park, since we're talking about leaves and trees, and that they were going to have this done in a matter of weeks, and Germany would reclaim all of their lands. Great Britain, I think this is going to go on for way longer than 4 years, sounds like. A neutral country. Hey, do you know Albania, Serbia, all of they're neutral. Spain is known for its neutrality. Anybody good geography? We already said that Belgium was neutral. Germany wanted to go through Belgium to get to France. Here's another country known for its neutrality. Anybody know what that country is? Raise your hand. We are just north of Italy. If you know these mountains are called right here, then often we call the place, like if you go on vacation. Hey, I went vacationing in the Swiss Alps, right? That's Switzerland right there. Switzerland also, right in the middle. You've got a country that says, no thanks, we don't want to be involved. And they're maintaining their neighbors. One of the reasons America justified, among many other reasons, like the German U-boats and how it's affecting our trade and how much debt the Allies owe us, that we have to make sure they win, right? Among the other reasons was our debt to, not yet, our debt to the French to repay them, because 130 years ago, before this, 135 years ago, it was largely in part of their assistance that we were able to defeat the Great British Empire to even become a country. Jake, what's that word for when government controls information? Like, the only information you get, it's controlled by a powerful entity like the government. And some people thought the information we were getting from Europe was filtered to Great Britain. So we were only getting what they wanted us to know. What's that word called? Very good. Of course, the Lusitania will be on there, right? This will be on there. Campaign slogan for President Wilson. He kept us out of war.
That's not very catchy.
That's not very catchy.
Ring to it. I mean.
Oh, you meant, yeah, just in and of itself it doesn't. But if you were living at the time, this was obviously something